Hello grade 5, today our lesson is about the shortcut keys part 2. We said before that we use the shortcut keys to give an order to the computer, to tell the computer what they want to do, rather than using the mouse or the touch screen. So we use the keyboard. We use the keyboard keys to make shortcuts to tell the computer what they have to do. They will understand what the user wants to do by pressing the keys using the keyboard. So we said that shortcut keys take action through using keyboard keys. Okay? So what is the most common shortcut that the user used to work? The first one we said that's the copy, the paste, undo, redo. All these things is a shortcut. But in lesson number 2, we have to learn about include some shortcuts used to work with files. So if I want to open a file, if I want to make a new file, if I want to save a file, I want to print a file. So all these shortcut is relating to the files. I want to work with files. So all these shortcuts, I will show you all the steps to do all these shortcuts. If I want to open a file, if I want to create a new file, I want to save a file, I want to print a file, I will go to the file and double click using the mouse. But if I don't want to use a mouse, I want to use the keyboard. How can I do that? To open any file, I press Ctrl with O, Ctrl with O. So when I press Ctrl with O, my file is opened. I open a new file. So rather than using the mouse, I can do that with the keyboard by pressing Ctrl with O at the same time. It must be together at the same time. Okay, so I will select the file, then Ctrl with O, my file is opened. Now, if I want to make a new file, how can I do that? All this is dealing with files, okay? How can I open a new file? So the user must press Ctrl with N to open a new document, okay? Now, I open a new document, I put all my work inside. I want to save it. How can I do that? I want to save the file. How can I save my document? By pressing together. A user must press together two keys. What is the two keys that must press together? Is Ctrl with S. S for save. And N for new. O for open. So I press Ctrl with save. Ctrl with S to save the file. If I want to save any file, I will go to File, then Save. I will give it a name. But this is a short way to save a file using the keyboard. So I press Ctrl with S to save a file. Ctrl with S to save a file. Then you will see a dialog. You will choose the location and the name of the file. Now let's learn if I want to print my document. How can I do that? I don't want to use the mouse. I just only want to use the keyboard. I press Ctrl with P for print, to print a document, We have to learn how to use shortcuts for working with presentation in Microsoft software. I want to make a presentation. How can I do that? What's the meaning of presentation? The meaning of presentation is making the font maybe bold, italic, underlined, all these things to make a presentation of my text. How can I do that using the shortcut keys? I don't want to use the mouse. I want to use the keyboard. How can I do a presentation for the text using the shortcut keys? How can I do that? For the bold, what's the meaning of bold? Bold is darker. The text will be darker. The text stand out. So we use bold. What's the meaning of bold? To make the text darker, to make the text stand out. How can I do that? I will select, I have to select the text that I want to change the presentation for the text, then Control with B, Control with B, B for bold, B for bold, Control with B, so you will notice that my text is stand out and be darker, so it is bold. Now if I want to make my text italic, what's the meaning of italic? It's look like an angle, it's look like an angle. How can I do that? I will select, so and before doing any presentation we must select the text. So I select the text, then I press on Control with I, Control with I, Control with I. So if you notice that now my text is on like an angle, it's like an angle. So it is in italic option. So this is the italic option. And if you notice that the main key that we use in shortcut is the Control. All the time we press the Control with other letter, Control with other letter. So what is the basic key? We will always use it. It is the Control. It is the Control. Now, what about the underline? I want to make my text underline. There is a line. There is a line under the word, line under the word. How can I do that? I have to select the text, and after that I will press Control with U. U for underline. U, it is the first letter of underline. So I press Control with U and you will see your text underlined.